Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Brothers and sisters, we begin in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praises are for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send His peace and blessings upon our noble messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Azhar Zaidi, and I have been with Dar Islam for about 33 years. And with me, we have Brother Tahrim Zaidi, and we're both program managers responsible to ensure that the services are provided to you as committed and in satisfactory manner, inshallah. The purpose of the webinar today is to walk you through your detailed itinerary, which we will do, inshallah. What I've done is I have disabled the Q&A folder for now, because chances are that many of the questions will be answered during the course of the presentation. So I will enable the Q&A at the end of the presentation, and we'll have plenty of time, inshallah, to answer your questions. Please keep it to the relevant topic, which is about the itinerary associated with the program that you have selected. This is being recorded. Inshallah, the recording will be made available if you wanted to review it again, and especially for those who are unable to attend for some reason. So without any further delay, but the Tahrim, you wanted to add anything? Welcome them, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Alhamdulillah, very excited to be with you all on this special journey, inshallah. And I will be right with you from A to Z, right? From Medina, which Brother Azhar will be speaking about during our stay in the Madinah Towers, right? During the days of the Hajj, as well as after Hajj when we will be in Mecca. I'll be with you throughout the whole trip, inshallah. So looking forward to be with you all, and definitely be paying a very close attention to all that Brother Azhar is going to talk about now. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Tahrim. So let me just start with the sharing of the presentation. Okay, brothers and sisters, this 14-day Makkah after Hajj. So basically, we're doing an itinerary review of a package that is starting in Medina, then going to Mecca and Manasik, and then after the Manasik of Hajj, staying in a Mecca hotel after Hajj, except for one package that is part of this review that will leave immediately after the Manasik. So this particular webinar is about these three packages: SV Silver B and Public Medina and SV Platinum B2. They're all staying in Madinah Towers. If you are in any one of those packages, then you are in the right place. If you are in any of the other programs, then attending this webinar may confuse you, because this webinar is going to discuss the itinerary specific to these packages. The topic of discussion will start from the day you arrive in Medina and your stay there, arrival in Mecca and Umrah, the Manasik of Hajj itself, and then stay in Mecca after the Manasik, except for one program that leaves after the Manasik, and then we'll open it up to Q&A. Before I get into the detail of the actual itinerary, just understand that the responsibility for delivering Hajj services to the pilgrims is owned by the Saudi Hajj and Umrah Company, which is a Saudi Hajj service provider. The services that they own include airline tickets and flights and accommodations in the kingdom, all transportation in the kingdom, be it train, be it bus, services in the camp during the Manasik of Hajj, and much more. Dar Islam is working cooperatively with the Saudi Hajj and Umrah Company. We are actually honored to be with them, but we're there in a supporting role to deliver services to you, our guest. Now, as with Hajj, this webinar is for informational and educational purposes only. There are far too many variables in Hajj that definitely is outside our control. And so we're going to discuss some things in detail. We might discuss some timing, for example. I don't want you to consider that to be a concrete timing, because in Hajj, there is no such thing. Things will change, do change, regulations are introduced, circumstances change, and so this will also change. But our job, and Brother Tahreem's job as your program managers, to ensure that we have effective and timely communication for the things that are about to happen, including things that change should they change. So bear that in mind. We are used to being in a lifestyle when something is mentioned at this particular time, it happens. But imagine you have 2 million plus people from all over the world, different cultures, different traditions, different languages. There's bound to be things that happen that causes deviation to the plan. And so just bear that in mind, that this is not your Hajj, this is not my Hajj, this is all of our Hajj. We're all in it together, seeking the same thing. So keep that in mind when you see the changes coming through. Arrival in Medina on day one, you will be arriving inshallah on May 31st and the 4th of Zulhijjah. Those who are coming directly into Medina, make sure you have your proof of vaccination with you. They may even ask for the proof of vaccination from your departing airport, because it's required for you to have meningitis. It's required for you to have a COVID vaccination if you're 65 and above. Now, I will cover this in more detail in my logistics webinar, which is coming up on May the 3rd. So do attend that one. This one is just giving you some idea that you should have a proof of vaccination with you. When you deplane, there are sometimes these people standing there asking to see your proof of vaccination. You will proceed to passport control, where you will actually enter into the kingdom. And after passport control, you will go to luggage claim. In baggage claim, make sure you pick your own luggage. And for that, I request that you put some sort of a personal ID before you depart home, so that you can easily recognize your luggage, because it is such a headache and unnecessary stress if you pick up somebody else's bag and vice versa. So it's important that you pick your own luggage. Now, if you can't find your luggage, if it is lost, don't leave the area until you go to baggage services and claim and get a receipt for a lost luggage claim. After that, you will go through customs and exit the secure arrivals hall. Make sure you wear your personal ID, which will be provided to you, inshallah, and you have that with you, and your service provider reps will greet you outside. But if they are not outside, then they would be near the McDonald's restaurant next to it, and they will guide you to your transport for the hotel. The reason I'm saying this is because they do not allow the travel agents or tour operators or other agencies to actually stand there with a sign or a card saying we are such and such. They don't actually allow that. So we have to be discreet about this. And that's why your ID will identify you are with us, and our service provider reps will be there to gather you and then provide you the appropriate transport to your hotel. Now, if you happen to be arriving at Jeddah Airport and then transfer to Medina, then in this case, same routine. You have to go through proof of vaccination. At least you have it with you if they demand to see it. You'll go through passport control. You'll go through baggage claim. You will go through customs and make sure you have your ID on. And then you'll be met with the service provider reps outside Jeddah Airport. And normally it's right next to an aquarium. And they will arrange for your transport either on Haramain train or ground transportation, subject to availability. And that is because sometimes the flight arrives in the middle of the night, let's say 1 o'clock in the morning, and the next train is 8 o'clock. It makes no sense for you to stay. As a matter of fact, you can't even stay at the airport. They want people coming in to exit the airport, go out, because there's so many people coming in, especially this being the last day for flights to arrive in for Hajj. So they want people to leave. So you can't even hang around there waiting for the train. So in this case, we'll probably give you ground transportation to Medina. But if there is a flight that matches closely to the train, we'll probably transfer you with the train. That's why I meant by subject to availability, if it is available. Okay. Now, when you arrive in Medina, these are the hotels that we're using in Medina. You can see all of them are in close proximity to the Haramain. So basically, in this program, the three programs that are the itinerary is for these three programs. We're using the Move and Pick Hotel or Dar al Taqwa Hotel. You can see both of them on the top. Literally, Dar al Taqwa is steps before you get into the courtyard, and so is Movenpick. So these are the hotels. So we're here in Silver Bee, you're in Movenpick Hotel. If you're in Public Madinah, you're in Dar al Taqwa. If you're in SV Platinum B2, you're also in Movenpick Hotel. Now, the hotel check-in starts at 4 p.m. And imagine this, that the hotel sells rooms in blocks. So there are people still there that have to leave the rooms on the 4th of Dhul Hijjah, and they normally do not vacate the room until after the Dhuhr prayers. So if they vacate the room at 2 o'clock, for example, or 2:30, the room has to be cleaned. Some of them will not vacate at 2 or 2:30, they'll vacate at 3 o'clock. And so check-in starts at 4 p.m. As a matter of fact, if you go into the website for Movenpick in Medina, it says 5 p.m. So if you do arrive early, we will provide you an area, a waiting area, where you can leave your belongings. You can stay there or leave your belongings, refresh yourself, make wudu, and spend some time in the haram until such time that your room is ready. But know that you may have to wait if you're coming in early. The checking in will not be done at the check-in counter of the hotel. It'll be done by the representatives from Al Burj in Dar es Salaam. If you are in a shared room, for example, if you're a male or a female and you've chosen a quad occupancy, or if you're a man and a woman, husband and a wife, and you've chosen a quad occupancy, people have this concept that if I'm a couple in a quad room, then there'll be another couple. Well, that doesn't happen that way, because only people that can be in a room in a mixed gender situation are those that have the mehram relationship. So husband and wife can be together. Husband and wife and mother or mother-in-law can be together. Husband, wife, and daughter can be together, but cannot be two strange couples because there is no marital relationship between the woman to the other man and so forth. So shared room will be gender separated unless it's a couple or family with mahram relationship. The room consists of 2 standard beds, no different than what you see here. In North America or Europe, when you walk into a hotel, they only have 2 beds. If you're a large family, you ask them for extra bed, they provide it to you. But they are temporary beds, exactly the same way it is done over there. So don't be surprised if you find 2 standard beds. It's not that the temporary beds are not usable, they are usable, but people have a psychological effect of having a temporary bed because that's the way the room configuration is. And what the service provider does, they will assign, for example, 4 people to a quad room. They don't assign which bed a person gets. These are the 4 people that decide among themselves as to who gets which bed, and be considerate of others. If you have somebody who's elderly or and cannot be in a temporary bed, you might want to give them the normal bed. It's up to you to decide. But room consists of 2 standard beds, additional beds or temporary beds, and there'll be open buffet breakfast and dinner provided in the hotel throughout your stay. This is good to know. And the specific 2 times I want you to know is that Fajr is very early at 4:03 and Isha is at 8:36. And it's fairly late. And these are adhan times. So allow 10 minutes after adhan for iqama. However, sometimes they do the iqama earlier. If it is too much of a crowd, they will call the iqama sooner than 10 minutes. But the most important part is that there is janazah prayer that are held almost after every fard prayer, very regularly. And there is great spiritual reward in participating in a janazah prayer. So if you don't know how to pray janazah, then this is the time for you to learn to pray janazah, so you may participate in them. We have planned for you the ziyarah of Medina. This is a bus tour after breakfast on the next day, June 1st. The bus will depart the hotel at 8 a.m. and we're hoping that that's going to be 8 a.m. If there's any changes, we'll let you know. And the bus will go to Masjid Quba, Uhud, and Masjid Qiblatain. And the tour may take up to, it should say 2 to 3 hours, not 2 hours. Tour may take up to 2 to 3 hours. And remember, it's going to be hot. It's June. And so you should remain hydrated. That's the main thing for you. We'll provide you with the water available in the bus, but remain hydrated. And this is a good idea for you to go to Masjid Quba, the first masjid ever built in Islam by the Prophet ﷺ. You go to the base of Uhud mountain, where you can say your salams to the martyrs of Uhud, where the Battle of Uhud took place, and you can go to Masjid Qiblatain. So attend that as well. And then after that, rest. When you come back, there will be a spiritual lecture by one of the scholars or more than one lectures. However, at this time, it's too early to give you the time or the place because that has not been settled yet with the hotels. The very next day, we have a very unique tour that is offered by us, and that is That is a walking tour. We also have now preparation for Umrah and Hajj, and therefore a fiqh of Umrah and Hajj lecture with Q&A opportunity. So the walking tour is best to do it when it's cool, early in the morning, right after Fajr prayers. We'll tell you where to gather, and then we'll walk around Masjid al-Nabawi and explain to you all the historical events that took place and the history behind it and the significance of each one of them and how it impacts or should impact our understanding in our lives and walking around the courtyard of Masjid al-Nabawi. The expected walking time is between 60 and 75 minutes, inshallah. So participate in that. It's optional to participate. It's up to you. Attend the lecture on the manasik of Hajj and Umrah by our scholars. This is where they go into in-depth detail about Umrah and Hajj. If you're doing this for the first time, you're going for the first time, concentrate on the Umrah part. Hajj part, they will be with you. They'll be with you in the camp. So Hajj part, you'll have plenty of opportunity to learn as you go through. But the Umrah part is the difficult part. And the reason it's the difficult part is, while I tell you that we'll go in together as a group in the Haram, the crowd in the Haram causes the group to be split up. So you really should know how to perform Umrah inside out, backwards, and blindfolded. So concentrate on Umrah. As a matter of fact, you can start looking at how to perform Umrah now. If you have any Islamic center, any other in-person seminars, concentrate on the aspect of Umrah that needs to be completed and be confident in doing it so that you are, if you get, for God forbid, separated from the group, you can continue with your Umrah and feel that you have done it right. The time and place of the lecture will be decided, but this is also the time where you can ask questions pertaining to the fiqh of Umrah and Hajj. On the 3rd of June, the 7th of Zulhijjah is when you're departing Medina. So the first thing I want you to know is that the checked luggage, there is restriction as to the size of the suitcase and the weight. I mean, the weight is still 25 kilograms, 23 kilograms, but the size is not the size we normally take with the airline here. It's a bit smaller. So what we tend to do is we collect your checked luggage earlier and we send it to Azizia or we send it somewhere in storage. It will not be available to you in Kidana Towers. I want you to know that. Your checked luggage will not be available to you in Kidana Towers. It will be available to you from storage into your next destination after Hajj. So after Hajj, if you're going to the hotels in Mecca, then that's where the checked luggage will be. If for SV Platinum B2, after Hajj they're departing, they will first go to a Jeddah hotel, and that's where the checked luggage will be. So we want you to pack for the manasik of Hajj in your hand carry roll-on bag, the type that you take with you, and put it in the overhead bin in the aircraft, and a backpack. Make sure you pack for what you need for Mina. Further guidance on what you take will be there. I'll give you a small one now, but further guidance will be there as well. And the group leaders will also guide you at the time. But the main thing to understand is that your luggage doesn't go to Kidana Towers at this time. And you need to put your luggage outside your room to be collected and sent by road by 10 a.m. This time is crucial. Some people will collect it by 11 o'clock and then we have an issue, or put it out later. Then we have an issue because the collection guy went by the room and now that luggage is stuck and you have to yourself take responsibility and carry it yourself in the train. It becomes cumbersome, stressful, and they might even charge you extra for carrying it in the train. So let's just be aware of this timing. If the timing changes, we'll let you know. You need to put it out before 10 o'clock. And then you keep your hand carry luggage and backpack with you, and you keep your ihram, medicine, and valuables with you, because you'll take that with you in the train. So this is an idea of what you might want to consider packing. Change of clothes. If you're going to be doing your Umrah and then going to be in ihram, and then you're going to come out of ihram, in Kidana Towers, you need to change your clothes. Next day you go to Tawaf al-Ifada, you need to change your clothes, maybe 3 change of clothes, a bath towel, toiletries, any other essential item you may need. You keep that in a hand carry luggage. You also have a backpack to be mobile, because when I'm leaving Kidana Towers for Arafat and Muzdalifah and back, I don't need to take my roll-on bag. There is no need for change of clothes, just a small backpack that has what I need: a prayer mat, Quran, dua book, medicine, energy bars, and water, right, for hydration as such. Again, more information will be provided to you. And the bottom line here is you will not have access to your checked luggage in Kidana Towers. Once it's taken away, you will reclaim it back in your accommodation after after the manasik of Hajj. Then the departure to Makkah and Umrah is on the same day, on the 7th of Dhul Hijjah, one day before Hajj is to begin. So you will prepare for Ihram in your hotel after Dhuhr prayers. That is to trim nails, remove unwanted hair, make ghusl, and you wear a Ihram garment with you. You have to check out with your belongings, and we'll tell you where to put your belongings at that time at 3 p.m. Somewhere downstairs. Bring down your hand carry luggage, your backpack, and we'll keep it in one place. Then you head to Masjid Nabawi for Asr prayers, which I believe is at 3:42 or so. And then you go and pray Asr and you come back. We will be boarding the bus and depart for the train station anywhere between 5:30 and 5:50. Again, this is an estimated time. And as far as what the intention to be made and what intention should I make, this is something that will be discussed with your scholars in the fiqh session that is coming up on May the 10th at 2 p.m. And I'll share that detail a little bit more. So you can say that, look, I'm going to be in Ihram after I do my Umrah. Hajj is already started. Why should I come out of Ihram and reassume it for Hajj? It makes sense for me to do Hajj, Umrah and Hajj in one Ihram. That's Hajj Qiran. Or some people insist, no, I must remove myself from Ihram, and 2 hours later I'll put it back on again. Then becomes Umrah only, come out of Ihram and put it back again, your Ihram in Kidana Towers, Hajj Tamattu. Either one is good. However, what you should do, what is convenient, what makes sense, I think this is something that the scholars will explain, and you can have questions to them and then make the decision accordingly. But somewhere in that train station before you leave, either in the bus to the train station, because the miqat, the train is flying by at 75 kilometers per hour. When they say the miqat is coming, miqat will pass by. So you don't have to make the intention in the train. You can do it as soon you get to the train station. But all of that is something the scholars will discuss with you in the fiqh session, and you can ask those questions. The train departs at 7:50 p.m. Maybe some will depart at 7:30 p.m. We'll let you know. And it arrives in Mecca at 10:05 p.m. Right? It's 2 hours and 15 minutes in general. When you arrive in Mecca, we'll take you from the train station to one of these hotels, likely Fairmont Hotel, where we've asked for a place for you to leave your belongings, refresh your wudu, and go straight to the haram and perform Umrah. So just picture this for a moment. You're coming in at 10:05 at the station. By the time you get to the hotel, it's 11:05, 11:15. By the time you get to the haram, it's close to midnight. Hajj starts the next day in the morning after sunrise, which is the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, and now you're going in to perform your Umrah, right? So you will take 2 hours, 3 hours to perform Umrah, and then you'll come back, right? So transfer will be from bus to train station for Umrah. You'll have a designated place for drop off and pickup, and then you perform your Umrah with your guide. And after your Umrah, you transfer to Kidana Towers in Mina, right? Your Hajj is already started. The days of Hajj is already started. So you're in the manasik of Hajj. Where is Kidana Towers? Kidana Towers is located in Mina Valley, in the area where people go for Hajj. These are the buildings that are 5 stories high. They're alphabetically numbered, and you are, I believe, in building A, the one that is closest to the Jamarat. So that's where you'll head to. And this is a visual picture of the valley, and you can see the distance between Kidana Towers and the Jamarat. It's about 20 minutes to go there and arrive there, get some rest. You'd probably have spent the whole night in the haram, and then and you're already in ihram, or should be in ihram, because Hajj is already started. It's the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, the first day of Hajj. There will be some spiritual lectures, there'll be some reminders. All of that will come through in due time. You will offer your Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha prayers and Fajr prayers in congregation. And I'm also showing you the Adhan times for Mecca. Right? Here it is 4:11 in the morning versus 4:03 in Medina. Now, sometime in the morning, we don't know, it's to be decided, you will be transferred to Arafat via dedicated buses. Now, the difference between dedicated buses and shuttle buses is that the shuttle buses is not a one-to-one, that there is a space for each person in a bus. Shuttle buses will take some people, drop them off to Arafat and bring them and come back to pick up the rest. That does not apply to Kidana Towers. You will have your own bus. But even that bus will be scheduled. Which group leaves first, which group leaves second. There's so many buildings in that area. You can't park all those buses in that area. So they will just basically schedule you, and you will just basically wait for your guide to tell you what your schedule is. And based on that, you will get on the bus and move on to Arafat. And make sure if you're traveling as a family, the families are together. Now, what do you take to Arafat? You don't need your roll-on bag. You don't need the change of clothes. You're in ihram. You're going to come back in ihram the next day. So you need simply the essentials in a backpack. So I will need my Quran to recite, my dua book. I need my prayer mat. I will need some energy bars, and I will need my medicine if I'm carrying any. And those are the things that you will carry with you to Arafat. And your guide will go with you, inshallah. Now, once you get there, the Kidana has their own separate area for accommodations. You will get accommodated there and get some rest. It's a good idea that if you arrive early in the morning, if you happen to arrive at 7 or 8 in the morning, even though the wukuf of Arafah starts after Dhuhr, don't stay up. I mean, you don't realize how exhausted it'll be given the movement that we've gone through. And so what best thing to do is, if you can find a place to doze off or to sleep for an hour or two, do so. 10 o'clock, quarter after 10, before the lineup gets bigger in the washroom, go make your wudu and get ready for Dhuhr and Asr. They will provide you with breakfast and lunch. That's not a problem, right? But you will have congregational Dhuhr and Asr shortened and combined on this day of Arafat and the khutbah of Arafat by one of the scholars. After which the wukuf will start. The lunch will also start, but wukuf will start. This is the time for you to make individual supplication. This is the time for you to plead your case to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the time about which the Prophet ﷺ said that there's no other day when most people are forgiven and saved from the punishment of the fire than the day of Arafat in the entire year. So this is the time for you to stand up before Allah, just like you're rehearsing the day of judgment, coming out of your graves in coffin, in clothes, white garment, which is your shroud, and standing before him. And so you will do your individual supplications, and then there will be also group supplications where Sheikh will lead probably later on in the afternoon. But if you are fresh and tired, if you're tired, you'll probably doze off. Try not to do that, which is why you need to pace yourself much earlier. In Madinah, you need to pace yourself. In Kidana Towers, the day before, you need to pace yourself. And please, if you're going to be outside, because some people want to stand outside, even if it's shaded, if you know you're perspiring a lot, make sure you remain hydrated and you continue to watch yourself for that. You will transfer to Muzdalifah after Maghrib time on the same dedicated buses. However, it will be scheduled and staggered, and your guide will provide you the time of departure. When you arrive at the Muzdalifah rest area, you will perform Maghrib and Isha. It will not be one Jama'ah. As groups arrive, they make the wudu, they pray Maghrib and Isha together, combined, and then they basically collect some pebbles from your Jamarat. They might even give you some pebbles in a small sack. And just remember to remain hydrated. Get some rest, get some sleep if you can. Now, from Muzdalifah, there are two departures. It is wajib to stay till Fajr, except for those who have been excused to leave after half the night. Again, bring this thing up with your scholars to talk about the option you have, which is if those who were excused were elderly, the weak, the sick, the women, the children, and those serving the pilgrims, he allowed them to leave, alayhi salatu wasalam, after half the night had passed. So go back to Mina. Included in them were his wife, alayhi salatu wasalam. May Allah be pleased with her. So you need to actually make that decision. Why am I saying you need to inform your guide of your departure option? Your guide is likely to ask you about your departure option probably in Kidana Towers, probably before Arafat, as because you're going in buses. And as you leave in the bus, either this bus is going to stay the entire night till Fajr, or it's going to leave after half the night. It cannot do both. If you have mixed people in it, so which way should it be? Should everybody leave half the night, or should everybody leave after Fajr? Because the bus will not be coming back after it goes back to Kidana Towers. So that decision will have to be made earlier. Your guide will likely approach you in Kidana Towers on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah before you go to Arafat and say, hey, which one is it? So we can then decide among ourselves, among all the buses that are there for Kidana, to know which bus is staying and which bus is leaving in the middle of the night, and then you're appropriately placed in the appropriate bus. And that's the whole reason why It's showing here on the 6th of June, inform your guide of your departure option in Muzdalifah. We're trying to do that much earlier so we know how the switch will be and we have enough capacity. Then you return to Kidana Towers by bus. I have put this in a very mild manner when I say expect traffic gridlock in travel from Arafat to Muzdalifah and then from Muzdalifah to Mina. And literally, what I mean by traffic gridlock, it's probably unlike anything you've ever seen in your life, where the buses go about 5 meters, 10 meters, and they stop to the point where the driver turns off the ignition because it's not going anywhere. So if you're caught in one of those traffic jams, you'll be there for hours, even though the distance is short. I want you to prepare yourself mentally for it. You will stay in the bus. You will not go outside and walk in the heat and the pollution that is caused by all these buses on the road. So just stay there. You will eventually arrive in Mina Kidana Towers. You will complete Rami Jamara with your guide. Somewhere the guide will decide when to take you to go to the Jamarat. And on that day, on the day of Eid, the 10th of Zulhijjah, there's only one Jamara to complete, which is Jamaratul Kubra. You'll throw 7 pebbles and you will release yourself from Ihram by cutting or shaving your hair and then shower and change into normal clothes, right? And get some rest. Open buffet breakfast, lunch, and dinner will be in Kidana Towers. Now, as far as the next pillar of Hajj, which is to perform Tawaf al-Ifada, there are several schedules available. Number one, for those who do spend half the night in Muzdalifah and come to Kidana Towers in the middle of the night because they spent only half the night, they can actually leave Kidana Towers at 4:30 a.m., which is immediately after Fajr, to go to the Haram to perform Tawaf al-Ifada. Now notice what I've said here. Return to Mina camp after Tawaf and Jummah prayers. And the reason is because it's a Friday. I know people are emotional. I want to make Jummah. You have no idea what the crowd will be like. Everybody wants to go for Jummah in the Haram. Even though Jummah is not required for travelers, it's the emotion. Those who are staying in the hotel in Mecca after the manasik will get a Jummah prayer in the Haram anyway. But it's the emotion that drives them. Look, 100,000 times reward. But the Prophet ﷺ performed one and only one Hajj. And the day of Arafat was Jummah. He did not offer Jummah prayers. So be mindful of your health and condition and know that there is a rukhsa given to you. So if you want to go at 4:30 a.m., we're not going to stop you. You're going to go there. By the time you arrive and you start your tawaf, if you finish your tawaf by 9:30, you want to come back to the hotel, the pickup place, guess what? There are no buses available. Why is that? Because the traffic has been stopped. Why has it been stopped? Because of Jummah. So the people who are coming now in the morning after Fajr are heading to the Haram for making Tawaf al-Ifada and might as well stay for Jummah. So they're stopping all traffic. So chances are you're going to be there until Jummah prayers is over and then you're going to come back. That's the chances are. That's why I'm letting you know about the 4:30. Or you can come in at 4:30 into Kidana Towers and relax and leave at 11:30 at night for your Tawaf al-Ifada. That's the next group that leaves that doesn't get to go for Jummah. Or you can go on Saturday at 4 a.m. for Tawaf al-Ifada and return back to Mina camp after the Tawaf. These timings may change, so don't hold me to it. And right now, I think the 11:30 is good. It might change. The buses might change. But these are the ways we're planning you're going for Tawaf al-Ifada. I think half the people, if they leave after half the night, will end up availing the 4:30 a.m. And so we're planning accordingly. And we'll let you know when this is all firmed up. We'll announce you what the options are much later. But this is being planned. On the 11th of Zulhijjah, you're back in Kidana Towers. You're offering prayers in congregations. You'll have lectures from shuyukhs. And you will still go perform Rami Jamarat in all 3 Jamara. And guide will take you. Make sure you are hydrated. It's a 20 minutes one-way walk. And it's about 30 minutes on the way back because they only allow one way. You'll have your meals in the tower, Kidana Tower. Same thing on the day the Hajj comes to an end, which is you offer your prayers in congregation. Remember, you're residing in Mina. So your Hajj does not come to end on the 12th. Because if you spend the Maghrib time of the 12th of Zulhijjah in Mina, then it becomes wajib on you to do Rami Jamarat of the 13th. So you will stay in Kidana Towers, and on the morning of the 13th, that's when you're moving to your hotel. in Mecca, or in the case of SV Platinum B2, their Hajj is over, they're heading back home, they're going to a Jeddah hotel before they go to the airport, you will offer the prayers in congregation, perform Rami Jamarat, and then you will depart for your Mecca hotel late in the afternoon. So after Rami Jamarat, you come back to Kidana Towers. We'll let you know when the rooms are available in your hotel in Mecca, so you can then go to your hotel in Mecca with your belongings. For SV Platinum B2, you're not going to your hotel in Mecca because you're departing, and so you will go to a Jeddah hotel, and I'll cover that in a moment. So SV Silver B, you're going to Swiss Hotel Mecca, and Public Madinah is going to Swiss Maqam Mecca. They're both part of the Clock Tower complex in front of King Abdulaziz Gate. And SV Platinum B2, you're going to Move and Pick Hotel in Jeddah. Okay, let's talk about SV Platinum B2 a bit. So you are departing on the 14th of Dhul Hijjah, or June the 10th. And based on your flight time, you will perform Tawaf al-Wada. Then you will transfer to Jeddah Hotel, check in, get some rest, reclaim your luggage from Medina that should be waiting for you, so you can repack and then transfer to the airport based on your actual flight departure time. Because your Hajj is over, you don't have a stay in Mecca hotel afterwards, but you're departing after the manasik of Hajj. For the remaining SV Silver B and Public Medina, you're coming to these two hotels, Swiss Hotel or Swiss Maqam, part of the Clock Tower complex. Monday, June the 9th, 13th of Dhul Hijjah, you come to Mecca hotel, whether it's late afternoon, whenever you're advised to come in, but do expect some wait time before checking in, because that's when people who've been there, who had been in a non-shifting program, are leaving. So do expect some wait time. And remember, again, the room consists of 2 standard beds, and additional beds or temporary beds. You check in and reclaim your luggage that was sent from Medina, and then you can take that to your room. Meals will be served, and really all you need to do is rest as much as you can. And the next 3 days for you, June 10th to the Friday the 14th, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, what you need to do is perform prayers in congregation. Now you have the proximity of the Haram in front of you. Get some rest, and then go and pray all the prayers with the Haram in Jama'ah. If you want to do tawaf, optional tawaf, you can. If you want to do extra voluntary prayers, you can. It's amazing to offer prayers of Isha and Fajr in the roof of the Haram. And you might find that the mataf is so crowded that your optional tawaf is happening on the 2nd floor of the masjid, which is a bit longer, but it's still no pushing and shoving, which is even better. And of course, you get to offer a Jummah prayer in Masjid al-Haram before you end up wrapping up your stay in Mecca. And on the 14th, when you do depart, you'll perform your tawaf al-wada based on your return flight. Rule of thumb, 13 hours before your flight time, you're done with tawaf al-wada. But it happens to be that something else is in the middle, then you can do it even earlier than that. Just don't do any shopping afterwards, and then you'll be transferred to your Jeddah airport, and the timing of that will be provided to you later on as to when to do tawaf al-wada and when to be ready to go to the airport. Now, brothers and sisters, I have a logistics Kidana Al-Wadi Towers. This includes the things you need to take with you, what happens in the transit airports, etc. It's very extensive on Sunday, May the 4th at 11 o'clock. That covers logistics for anyone who wants to be in Kidana Towers, but it starts from pre-departure planning as to what you need to cover with you, take with you. So please do attend that. It would be of benefit to you. And then there's Dr. Tahir Wyatt and Ustad Shahid Sayyid are going to cover the actual fiqh 101 of this particular itinerary, starting in Medina, then the manasik, and then Mecca afterwards. That's Saturday, May the 10th at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then we have the health and medical guidance from our physicians on May the 10th at 11. So all of this is available to you on DST World Travel Hajj 2025 webinars. When you go there, just from the drop down, select your program, whether it's SV Silver B or whatever it is, and say that you want to have the fiqh session or all sessions. But if you say fiqh session, the middle one will pop up. Logistics session, the top one will pop up. Just go and book it. Just go and register in it, and it will be of benefit to you to spend the time preparing for this journey. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us ease in this journey. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our Hajj and du'as and make us among those who is eagerly waiting to respond to his call. He has called you. He has honored you. You have spent the money. You have made the intention. That is from him. He honors whoever he wishes to honor to his house. And so we're ready to respond to his call by saying, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Here I am, O Allah. Here I am. Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. Here I am. There is no partner with you. Innal hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. Indeed, all praises and blessings and sovereignty belongs to you. La sharika lak. You're repeating and affirming the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this response to his call. May Allah bestow us this honor that we are able to respond to his call with ease and to accept our du'as and our hajj and return home to our family and loved ones safely. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as the process of completing the hajj, elevate our rank with him and increase our understanding of this perfect deen and guide us to deeds that pleases him. Brothers and sisters, that concludes our questions. I just want to point out one more thing. I'm going to open up the Q&A folder, and then I'm going to point out one thing though between Brother Tahrim and myself. We have responsibilities for quite a few groups actually, but the split will happen between us and Brother Tahrim is that in Kidana Towers, we'll be together with you in Medina, we'll be together with you, but the split will happen in Kidana Towers, because Kidana Towers is one camp where you'll be, and I'll be in another camp called Majar al-Kapsh, and chances are Brother Tahrim will manage all aspect of the manasik of Hajj from Kidana Towers with you. But I'll be available and we'll be in touch with each other through WhatsApp. But we're there to ensure that we'll do our best to provide you the services. We just want your understanding as to the environment you're going in and the challenges you'll have. But don't get so much concerned about the things to the details where you lose your concentration in the actual worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have opened up the Q&A and I'll be more than happy to actually take your questions.
And as those questions are coming in, I just wanted to mention as well. So, alhamdulillah, I've had the opportunity of leading Hajj and Umrah groups with Dar es Salaam for over a decade now, alhamdulillah. And with my experience, with the experience of Ustad Shahir, Ustad Ubaidullah, Sheikh Ahmed Arur, Muhammad, over 3 decades of experience, alhamdulillah, leading the Hajj and Umrah groups. So, inshallah, we will be in great hands. And of course, Allah will. We pray Allah will facilitate, a blessed and accepted Hajj for us all.
Brother Sayyid Hussain, your question is, can we shower in Kidana? So my understanding of Kidana is this. I have never been there. It's a brand new facility that just opened up. So let me give you my understanding of Kidana, that it actually has about 5 floors. And it has, just let me go through here. Yeah. So 4 floors altogether, 30 rooms, about 10 persons per room. It has a musalla, it has a shower, it has area for food. All of that is available in Kidana Tower. So that shouldn't be an issue for you whatsoever. You definitely can shower and change. Assalamu alaikum. Do we need to be in ihram on the 10th, 11th, 12th Dhul Hijjah? No, you don't. You are going to go into Kidana Towers in ihram, and on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, when you return from Muzdalifah, you come out of ihram and into normal clothes. But you're still in Hajj. You still have to do the other rituals of Hajj, which is Tawaf al-Ifada and Rami Jamarat. But you will not be in ihram. If you assume ihram as one ihram for both Hajj and Umrah, because it's such a short stay between the end of Umrah and beginning of Hajj, if you assume that, just say on the 7th of Dhul Hijjah out of Medina, before you get on the train, then you are going to be in ihram of Umrah on the early morning of the 8th in Kidana Towers, 9th and 10th you're coming out. And after that, you won't be in ihram. I hope that answers your question. Can you say something about the Qurbani? Is it covered in our package? Yes, Brother Muhammad, I understand that the Qurbani will be done on your behalf. It is covered in the package. Is there a time limit as to when we can enter Mecca? I notice you will be entering Mecca via train very late at night on the 7th. The time limit is, the restriction is on the flights coming in as to when the last flight comes in. They won't be selling us the tickets if we were not allowed to actually go in. So I don't think there'll be any issues. There are people that actually even show up on the morning of the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. And there are some locals that will show up on the morning of the 9th of Dhul Hijjah. So that's allowed. I still have not received my visa. Should we be worried? Wait till 5th of May, then we'll be worried. They're still coming in pieces. They're coming in batches. We just don't know what the batches are. But the Tahrim and I have not received our visas either. So I don't think any of the guides have received their visas. Salam. For Ihram, I cannot wear sandals because of my handicap. Do I have to pay fidya for wearing other shoes? Brother Abu Bakr, this is a question you need to ask a scholar who will tell you based on your condition that definitely you can wear whatever you want to wear because of your handicap. As to whether you pay fidya, which is feeding 6 people, or whatever that is, this is something you need to ask your scholar, and he'll be able to answer that much better. Do we need only one ihram or should we bring two to change if needed? I think one is provided to you in Medina because you're starting in Medina. But if you feel that you are going to be in that ihram from the 7th and in the evening, and you're going to go there and do Umrah and the 8th, that before you head to Arafat, you want to shower and change it to another garment, you can. You can buy another ihram from Medina. But the notion that you have to have another ihram because you want it to be clean, it has to do with is what we're comfortable with. But I want to remind you for a moment. Just imagine the journey that the Prophet ﷺ undertook. He left Medina on the 24th of Zulqa'dah when he performed the Hajj, and he walked and he rode for 9 days. He assumed ihram on the 24th of Zulqa'dah, and he walked and he rode for 9 days, and he arrived in Mecca on the 4th of Zulhijjah. So the fact that he was sweaty, that does not violate the ihram. As long as it's not soiled, it does not violate the ihram. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put us in that position, so it will humble us as such. But if you're comfortable getting another ihram, there is nothing wrong with it. If you're comfortable taking a shower, there's nothing wrong with it, but stay away from scented toiletries as such, and I will cover more of that in the logistics webinar. Salam, when we go to Mecca from Medina to perform Umrah before Hajj, and if we choose Hajj Tamattu, do we have time or place in designated rest hotel to shower? So no, not in the designated hotel to shower. When you come in on the 7th of Zulhijjah, let's say you enter the Haram at midnight, you're finished at 4 o'clock and you're going to Kidana Towers. That's the 8th of Zulhijjah. That's the way Hajj has begun. You would have already come out of Ihram before you went to Kidana Towers because you would have cut your hair in the Haram area, even though you're still wearing the garment. Okay, you get to Kidana Towers, you go shower and change and put on your normal clothes the rest of the day. Before the next day when you're heading out, again take a shower in Kidana Towers, put on the ihram and make the intention for Hajj. So the answer is yes, but not in the designated rest hotel. It'll be at Kidana Towers. I think Brother Mia Afroz, I answered the same question. You want to do Hajj Tamattu, can you bring an extra ihram? You can wear the same ihram that you wore for Umrah. For Hajj, if you want to get an extra ihram, purchase one in Medina, you'll be fine. Can I do optional Umrah when I come back to Mecca after Hajj? Yes, you can. What's the weight of the hand carry bag from Medina to Mecca? You're going to carry this with you in the train. Nobody's going to weigh it. Okay, you can put whatever you want in that hand carry luggage. Nobody's going to weigh it. For Arafat and Mina, is there a limitation on the size, the type of backpack? I basically take a normal backpack that I normally take my laptop in it. That's all I do. I don't take a large backpack. I don't take a small one. I take a medium one that has those slots in it. So I'll use that type of a backpack as such, so I can put my change of my small things. My change of clothes will be in my hand carry luggage, which would be the typical one that I carry in the aircraft, right? So don't take too big of a backpack, but it's up to you. You want to take a big backpack, it's up to you. I tell people that luggage is your punishment. The more you take, the more you're punished. Really up to you. What time will be expected to arrive in Mina after Umrah? Don't know. So let's say you finish. This is a good question, Brother Hassan. I really thank you for asking, because in my mind it was like, if I start my Umrah at midnight, and I'm done by 3 o'clock, 3:30, you would have heard the adhan for tahajjud. That adhan for tahajjud is made an hour before. Fajr. Fajr that day is 4:11. Your choice. You want to come back and take the bus to Kidana Towers, or do you want to stay for Fajr and then go to Kidana Towers? So it depends on when you finish your Umrah. I'm sure the bus will be going to Kidana Towers both before and after Fajr. What is the latest expected date for flight ticket and visa to be received for Kidana programs? They're two separate things. The visas are issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Saudi Arabia, and they're doing them in batches, and they're coming slowly. People are receiving it one by one in batches. There are some that have not received it, and we expect that, if you don't receive it by May the 5th, then we'll see what we can do to expedite that. But as far as the expected date of flight ticket is concerned, it should all have been done by this weekend. So on Monday, send an email to your designated agent in Dar es Salaam to see what they can do to help you, if you can. But most of the tickets are issued and should be sent this weekend or early next week. If we do Hajj Tamattu, do we need to go outside the miqat again to take Niyyah and Ihram? No. If you're doing Hajj Tamattu, the Ihram you take out after Umrah, your Umrah is complete, you're out of Ihram. The Ihram for Hajj is worn from the place of residence, not in miqat. So I'm going to go for Hajj now. I'm going to wear Ihram from where I'm residing. What if someone cannot climb stairs in the bus due to disability? Is there any alternate travel arrangements available, even if it is additional cost? I guess you should direct that question. I'm assuming you have a designated Dar es Salaam agent. Direct that question to that agent to see what can be done. I'm not so sure if there is an alternate travel arrangements. All of the transportation is are not. There's no such thing as cars during the manasik of Hajj. There has to be a transportation that takes a minimum of 18 or 20 people, because they have 100,000 different transports that are engaged during the manasik of Hajj. So I'm not so sure there would be an alternative for that, but do send that question to the designated agents to see what we can do. If we claim lost bag, what address can we put in claim? Second question, what size is the check-in bag? The check-in bag is based on the airline. If you have traveled internationally and taken a bag for checking in, that's the check-in size. As to what address you put in, you can put in your home address, but the whole notion here is that they sometimes don't even write the address. What they do, you can do it on your ID card on the bag itself. But when you claim the lost bag and they give you a receipt, they will not write the address on it. They will give you a number, a claim number. And we will try, after you've gone to your hotel, try to go back to the airline and see if it has come in the next flight, and to see if we could reunite the check bag with you as such. But for an address perspective, it should always be the home address. Do we have a head shaving facility when we're back after Jamarat? Yes, I'm told that in Kidana Towers there will be a place for you to actually have a barber come in and cut or shave your hair. For SV Silver B, what will be provided in the Hajj kit and when will they be handed to the passengers? It's a good question. We are waiting for them to confirm in the Hajj kit. Normally, they would have a prayer mat. They would have an umbrella, for example, and perhaps a dua book. I don't know the entire list per se, but we're expecting for that to close, and when it happens, we'll be able to publish that, inshallah. And when will it be handed to passengers? Should be done in Medina. If you're starting in Medina, it should really be done in Medina. But what happens is they also give you a gift bag in Arafat. For example, if you're in Arafat and you have to stay in Muzdalifah in an open area, then they will probably give you a sleeping bag in Arafat to use in Muzdalifah. So these are all being flushed out as we speak. Pictures of Kidana Tower accommodations, all we saw was mock-ups. I don't have those pictures to share with you. We will do Rami Jamarat till the 13th of Dhul Hijjah. Yes, you will. Because you're checking into Makkah hotel on the 13th and you are in Mina. You go past Maghrib of the 12th, you must do Rami Jamarat on the 13th. When can I do Tawaf al-Wada? You will do it before you depart for the airport. So if you are staying in the Mecca hotel, as I mentioned, the rule of thumb is 13 hours before your departure, you will do your Tawaf al-Wada, or even earlier. The date to check in Silver Bee in Mecca is June the 10th. The date to check in on is on the actual 13th of Dhul Hijjah, actually. It is actually June the 9th. Let's see now. You've said it's June the 10th. Okay, hold on a second. No, it's June the 9th. Check-in time is June the 9th. Okay. After Muzdalifah stay, the bus is leaving at 11:30 in the morning. We'll go to Jamarat directly or to Kidana. It's not going to be 11:30 in the morning. If you're staying in Muzdalifah at night and 11:30, as to whether it'll take you first to Jamarat so you can throw the stones and onwards to the Haram. If you have any belongings, where do you put that? I don't know the answer to that question. We are looking into whether you can go straight to the Jamarat and throw the stones and go from there. From there, meaning not directly from the Jamarat, you have to walk across the tunnel, King Fahd tunnel, to the other side of Aziziyah to catch the bus. So that is possible, but we have not flushed that one out yet. Will you be able to Tawaf al-Ifada if you're not in Ihram? Yes, of course. Tawaf al-Ifada is done outside of Ihram. Both Tawaf al-Ifada and Tawaf al-Wada is without Ihram. Again, the same question, what items will be provided? Ihram, umbrella, I don't know the whole list. I'll let you know, inshallah. When the time comes, we'll let you know. The Islam Canada website has some good stuff for Hajj and Umrah. I want to buy some things, but shipping doesn't go through either in Ontario or Quebec. What is the method to order? Please send an email to your designated agent. We'll take that question at that time. We will try and see if we can get you some pictures of Kidana, because we don't have it. When we do, we'll send that to you. But the Tahrim, make a note of that, please. Pictures of Kidana and how to, and the gift, complimentary gift that they give out, what is included in it. Salam, which day will be best for Rauda visit? The Rauda visit in Medina, in my opinion, you know when you're arriving in Medina, and when you're leaving from Medina. Anytime you want to pick in the Nusuk app, you pick it in the Nusuk app for the visit to Rauda. I will cover that in the logistics. If we are able to get the groups to go together, which is not a sure thing, then you will have another opportunity for going to the Rauda whenever they give us the opportunity to go as a group. Do we need to get a local SIM card or be provided a SIM card? They no longer provide a SIM card, but the Shuja, because SIM card now requires your passport, visa information, and your fingerprint. So they require the biometrics. You have to purchase one. It's relatively cheap. It's about 15 gigabytes will cost you $18 US per se. So it's easy to get from the hotels in Medina as soon as you arrive. Just make sure that your phone is unlocked and can handle a local SIM. Is there laundry in Kidana for washing clothes? Brother Farid, I'm told there is, but I'm not so sure that it can handle everybody. But I'm told that it is, even though I don't know the full capacity of it. Where do we keep your passports? For now, I think if they last year we kept our own passports. So if that's the same, then it'll stay with you, right? I don't think they'll take it away, but we'll have to wait and see. Do we stay in a tent or a building in Arafat? It's an accommodations that are unique and special to Kidana itself. We'll try and get you more details on that, inshallah. Brother Tahrim, please make a note. Are there designated washrooms in Kidana and Arafat and Muzdalifah? Yes, there are designated washrooms in a place that is designated for Kidana. Yes. Brother Muhammad, a package shows Makkah hotel dates June 10 to 14. As far as I know, that you're not staying in Kidana Towers till the 14th. You're actually leaving on the 13th of Zulhijjah to check in. Okay, I guess that's the all of the questions, brothers and sisters. We'll try and get back to you on the pictures of the accommodations at Kidana Towers if it's available. Complimentary items that are going to be provided. Brother Tahrim, anything else? And we asked for the one that mentioned about difficulty getting on a bus to be, please contact your designated agent to see how we can, if there is anything that can be done. I'm not so sure there is anything that can be done. And then we had questions about going to Jamarat and then catching the bus from the other side of the tunnel, coming in the middle of the night so you can go and perform Tawaf al-Ifada, if that can be arranged. We'll get back to you on that, inshallah. Anything else you want to add, Brother Tahrim?
No, just wanted to say that definitely I will look into those remaining questions that are still pending answers. Number one, and number two, that just inshallah, we pray that Allah grant us a blessed and accepted journey. Again, just be patient. This is going to be. I know it's a little nerve-wracking at this moment for everybody, but inshallah, we will all be together. We'll have our scholars with us as well. Inshallah, we will all get through it together, and from the mercy of Allah, inshallah.
Brothers and sisters, Jazakumullah khair. As I mentioned, this is meant to go through in some detail of your itinerary. There is a logistics presentation coming up on May the 3rd. Do attend that. And do attend the fiqh presentation by Dr. Tahir Wyatt. That will answer your fiqh questions and go through it in detail. And between the two, I think you should be all prepared. But do spend the time making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you ease in this journey and to accept this from you, which is something that comes from within with humbleness and humility. And I hope that this helps in that preparation. Remember, Brother Tahrim and myself will be there with you from Madinah onwards. The only split will happen when I go to Majd al-Kabsh, and Brother Tahrim will be in Kidana Towers to continue with you, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from us, our intention to perform Hajj, allow us to actually go and visit his house and to accept our Hajj and our du'as. Jazakumullah khairan. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.